Hello and welcome to Little Pie. Today I'm going to show you the basics of XFoil, which is an aerofoil analysis program that allows the calculation of lift and drag results for any angle of attack at different Reynolds numbers. Before we do anything, you have to install XFoil, and there's going to be a link in the description down below. Okay, once you've downloaded the appropriate one for your operating system and unzip it in a folder, then run XFoil, and it comes up like that. This brings up the main menu. I recommend enlarging the window a bit so you can see it better, like that. Okay, it may be a bit intimidating first, but once you've been using the software for a while, it will all fall into place. The menu items with a period in front of them are the menus, and the rest are direct functions. We'll be looking at most of these over the course of these tutorials, but we'll begin with just a few to start with. For this tutorial, we're going to be using one of the built-in NACA aerofoils and show you how to get the lift, drag and moment results. Later tutorials will show you how to import other aerofoils and how to modify aerofoils to achieve desired performance. The program has the 4 and 5 digit NACA aerofoils programmed in. These were developed by NASA in the early 30s, and some are still in production today, such as the Beach Bonanza, which has got the 235 digit series aerofoil. Okay, we're going to look at the aerofoil that was used in the Spitfire. So let's type in NACA and ACA 2210 and hit enter. This brings up the thickness and camber information, the number of data points, the trailing edge gap and the paneling information. As you can see, the aerofoil is 10% thick with a maximum thickness at 0.3 of the chord. And the max camber is 2%, and that's located at 0.2 of the chord. And so let's see how it performs. Type in OPER and press enter, and that brings you to the operating menu. And let's see the behavior and angle of attack of 3 degrees. So type in alpha and 3. This brings up a new screen with the aerofoil pressure distribution and the results. As you can see, at an angle of attack of 3 degrees, the lift coefficient is 0.5758, the moment is minus 0.0411, and the drag is minus 0.00089. This is calculated in inviscid mode, which ignores the viscosity. To get more accurate results, let's use viscous mode. We'll type in V, and it's asking for a Reynolds number, and a typical sort of number for a Spitfire is going to be 13 million. So let's try that again, alpha of 3, and see what it says. The lift coefficient is 0.552, the moment's minus 0.0371, and the drag is now 0.00491. As you can see, the lift and moments are reasonably comparative to the inviscid mode, but the drag was way off last time. Okay, so let's now see what angle of attack you need to get a lift coefficient of 0.2. So type in CL and 0.2. And it now shows more information and a big red not converge sign. By default, the program performs 10 iterations, and if it doesn't converge by then, it shows this warning that it's not converged. 10 iterations isn't much, so let's change it to something larger. So we'll type in iter and 180, so that's 180 iterations to try and solve it. So let's try that again, lift coefficient of 0.2, and this time it's solved. And now we'll try a few different numbers just to see what it's like. We'll try an alpha of 0, and then try an alpha of minus 3. So that's an angle attack of minus 3 degrees. And you can also do lift coefficients, so we'll try a lift coefficient of 0, and we'll try a lift coefficient of 0.5. And so you can try whatever number you want, really. You'll also see there's an easy way to type in these queries, so we'll put a question mark in to see the list of things you can do in the operating menu. You'll notice some are all capitals and some have a capital first letter and lowercase for the rest. In this case, you can just type in the capital letter. So we want an alpha of, say, alpha of 5, so we go A5 and type that in. So that's just a faster way to put it in. And also say a coefficient of lift of -0.2. And you can see it's quicker to enter it that way. You can also run a sequence of angle of attack. So we'll type in AS for the sequence. We'll go from 0 to 6. We'll go in 0.5 degree steps. And we'll also look at the aerofoil curve. So what we'll do now is we'll type in P, which enters polar accumulation mode, and we won't have any file names. You can save them if you want, but you don't actually need them. So now it's in accumulation mode. So we'll type in a sequence from -4 degrees to 20 degrees, and we'll go in 0.5 degree steps. And when it's finished, you type P to finish polar accumulation mode, and PP to look at the results. This brings up 3 graphs: a lift drag polar, a lift and moment versus angle of attack graph, and the laminar turbulent transition graph. And okay, we'll compare this one to another NACA airfoil. So okay, we'll go back to the main menu by pressing enter. That's dropped us to the XFoil menu, and we'll type in NACA 23010. So that's loaded up that new aerofoil. We'll go to the operating menu by typing oper, and we'll go to polar accumulation mode, so type P. We won't have file names, and again we'll run it from -4 to 20 in half a degree steps. When that's done, we'll press P and PP to look at it. And now both graphs have the aerofoil data plotted. Okay, this is a good way to compare 2 aerofoils. Notice how they're both the same thickness, but the moment coefficient is quite different. This is the end of part 1 of the XFoil tutorial. Please subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get an email when we release the next tutorial. The next tutorial will show you how to modify an NACA aerofoil to see the impacts of changing thickness, camber and high points. Thank you.